the hell is that? That's the chief.
Sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower.
Like a secret I'll never show. We said forever like it was free. Now forever's just you and me apart. We were fire in the pouring rain. Now your memory.
Banger! Did ya do it again, coach? We done did it again, pioneers. We got a whole lot to talk about this morning. Grand Rising, pioneers. Ooh, I hope you're doing well. Sending you love and high vibrations out to wherever it is you may be in the matrix and galaxy today, as we head into Thursday. Ooh, I love Thursdays, man. I swear to God. I've been up all night long. We pulling a 48-hour for you guys to get you a update out to our pioneers about the crypto space, about what it is we are seeing today. So we're going to pull up the Discord and we're going to share with you some decodes that we have been breaking down all night long with our pioneers and talking about what it is we are seeing as we see another 12 on the crypto fear and greed index. Oh, I've been out here painting Andy Warhols in the crypto space. I am crypto's Andy Warhol, painting Rembrandt's, Degas, and Monets on my way to being the next Gon, the next Wyckoff Elliott, the next great, and the first inductee into the Crypto Hall of Fame. You can't make this up, you guys. Out here charting history in advance, in classes, preparing our pioneers for what it is we are seeing. So, again, since midnight, I've been out here, and before, I've been out here sharing these decodes, talking about what it is we are seeing. Okay, Kramer out here saying everything is not okay with Bitcoin. He must be on the Jeffrey Epstein, Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin theme, like everybody else, you know, that law of equivalent exchange, Bitcoin going to 12K to zero. Like, are the 12Kers finally right after 7 years? You know, only time will tell what we see if we lose this $69,000, this $60,000 range that we are seeing. So again, all right, since midnight, yesterday afternoon after getting off of work, I've been sharing that if we go to July 4th last year, when we were coming out of our 4th of July, out of our Flag Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July thesis, okay, we can see that, boom, we're going to go ahead and share this in case pioneers want to jump in. But if we go back to the 4th of July, when I was teaching my pioneers in my thesis about Flag Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, in our, well, Independence Day rally thesis that was going to take us to 117K, the Master Chief 117 range, right? Well, then on 7/11 and July 11th, we saw $117,000 Bitcoin. On 7/11, the 11th day of the 7th month, the 117 day, right? So not surprising, okay? If we go from that 4th of July period where we rallied into that first ever 117K to tomorrow, the 2-6 day I've been warning my pioneers about. In the 2-6 year, the 26th year of the 21st century, it's 217 days. That upcoming Ring of Fire eclipse is on February 17th. Ooh, the eclipse. Well, okay, cool. So that's one day away. So getting this, volatile energy as we approach this 217 eclipse from that 4th of July Independence Day rally, right? From highs to lows, right? So, again, not surprising. I was also sharing that from our 126K highs to the February 8th Super Bowl, right, was 126 days. And then from February 8th Super Bowl to Trump's birthday is 126 days. Okay? So, that's important because I got a decode to share with y'all in a minute about that. But from 126K highs to the Super Bowl, from the Super Bowl to Donald Trump's birthday is 126 days. That is Flag Day, part of our 4th of July, Memorial Day, Independence Day thesis. Okay, so that's pretty important. Alright? But hitting 69K, sharing it with our pioneers as it happened. Okay, I'm always on it here in the Daily Candle Close News and the Pioneer Academy and University. Hitting that 1.618, a golden ratio range. Okay, again, after falling for 79 days, we fell into Christmas Eve, Jesus' birthday, the birth of Jesus Christ. And we saw birth come back in the charts, right? But this was the start of our winter solstice and the birth of the sun again. The sun in gold's logo, holding that psychological $79,000 range, then pumping $17,000, that 17 code we have been on and sharing in the Pioneer Academy and University. It's a very, very deep code this year, and dating all the way back to last year when we started sharing it, preparing people for this year and that 17 code. But from 79, the golden range, to 97, as above so below. Alchemy, turning lead into gold, right? De-risking that first take profit range and then making sure your stop loss was set. You moved it up along the way, and then bam, to the golden ratio accumulation range of the 2021 highs of 69K. Bang! Not another trader in the world like it. I'm telling you, Coach Abe out here. Do I expect a reversal from this range? Bitcoin has been selling off downward for straight 123 days into World Monarch Day. We've been like a caterpillar in a metamorphosis, becoming a beautiful monarch and butterfly. So yeah, I expect a potential bounce from here. Okay, a 6-year range getting tested again, and previous high of a 1.618 golden ratio range and accumulation opportunity that we've been preparing you for, to potentially go to the next 1.618 in the future, upwards of $160,000+. 161,800 and 1.618. I'll behave. Golden ratios everywhere in my book. Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, hitting the 702 almost of our Fibs on Fibs on Fibs Master Chief, the Legend of 117 chart that we have been breaking down for 6 years. Okay, so if we were to pull that up, and look at that real quick, I should have it easily accessible. I thought I already had it pulled up, but I might have forgot. Dang, what a bummer. We'll go to it real quick, but you can see it's a very important chart that we're paying attention to with this 702 golden pocket right here at around that $69,000. Okay, that accumulation that we've been talking about, potentially falling a 47% down from the highs under President number 47 to 66,600. The lows of the day he was elected. Okay, so I shared this with my pioneers. We're getting to this update, you guys. All right, painting these Andy Warhols in the crypto space right now. I am crypto's Andy Warhol, right? But we are now 4.7% away from the 1.618 range from a previous high right here on the 28th of January, the 128 code, when Melania was out here ringing the bell for the stock market. She was letting us know, capitulate, right, into these lows of election day possibly, right? So 66,600. Okay, you can't make this up. We're 4.7% away under president number 47, and we could fall to that range, which is 47% down from the highs. You can't make this up. That 47 code that we have been sharing. And again, today is 47 days from the winter solstice. And our thesis of December and losing the big bully of 91,100 that we knew would be a 9/11 in the charts. You can't make this up. So when we look at the big bully range of 91.1, the big bully, Christmas 2025, 119, 47 code, right? 47 days from the winter solstice, we're hitting 69K, landing back on the moon like Coach Abe has been preparing you for, all in advance since October. When we came out here in October and November, and we got kicked out of James Wynn's X Spaces for asking about after Trump came out in his 60 Minutes interview, if we could see a potential 9/11 ritual as we headed into, well, the Super Bowl 60, Trump winning the 60th election on the world stage, right? Charlie Kirk getting assassinated, right? 60, his name equals 60 in numerology. But anyways, we're falling into Super Bowl 60, hitting 69K. The 69 moon landing in 1969 in the 1960 space race. And the 60th elected president was just out here in a 60 Minutes interview talking about the crypto race. You cannot make this up. And I made a post in June of 2000, in this man's birthday month of 2025, preparing everybody for the crypto race that would come next. And here we are landing on the moon. Win moon. We told you. Now get ready for blast off. I'm not lying, pioneers. We've been expecting this. And now not many people will be ready for what comes next. When we see a potential rally out of, well, I'm thinking that 211 day into that 217 eclipse, ring of fire eclipse that most people are probably, ooh, eclipse, wigged out about, right? But we're not here, okay? So we ain't even giving it that much energy. We're looking at February 11th as a major date to pay attention to and to watch Donald Trump on the world stage, because it's 1 year and 23 days from his inauguration on January 20th to 2/11, the 211 code, just like we get in Donald Trump's name. Again, from 120 to 1 year and 12 days later on January 31st, we started capitulating into where we are now. And we were sharing this live in advance to you. Donald 112, 211 being the 47th prime. Trump 47 elected the 47th president, right? And we're heading into that 211 date. The day that is the 42nd day of the year. That number of everything. Heading into the 43rd day of the year. That number of Lucifer. The day leaving 322 days left in the year, that skull and bones connection, right? We just had a 43-day government shutdown. Just went through a second government shutdown that he just reopened, okay? So it is also 1 year and 23 days to February 12th, the 322 days remaining in the year, the 43rd day of the year. So if you add the end date or don't add the end date, if you look at February 11th, February 12th, roughly 4 to 5 days after the Super Bowl, roughly 4 to 5 days before the eclipse, you'll see that, it's a very volatile and important time period. If we go back to this man's election on 1/15, the Lucifer date, okay, to 2/11, it's 1 year, 3 months, and 7 days, which we know is 137, the 33rd prime number in mathematics. And we know 2/11, February 11th, ties us into that 47th president, right? That 47 code that we've been on. But it is 66 weeks and 6 days to the 216 date, and we know that February 16th is the 6 cubed. 6 times 6 times 6 gives you 216 in mathematics. The 666 code, heading into the 216 date, and that's the eve of the Ring of Fire eclipse. Okay, so that 216 day is the 47th day of the year, tying us back into his election day on the 310th day of the year, tied to that 56 code, tied to coronavirus, because 310 in 2020 was the last day of normality before 311 and the world changing forever because of C-19. So remember that. We are heading into a very, very pivotal time period with what we are seeing and what we've been preparing you for all in advance. Because again, today is 2 months and 16 days from the November lows, the 666 code. Today is the 36th day of the year, the 3 6s, right? You can't make this up. All tied to Krypton, the 36th element tied to Kryptos, meaning hidden. Tied to crypto, Bitcoin 36, right? Kryptos meaning hidden 69. They tried to hide the 69K from the chief and they couldn't do it. Coach A with the bangers doing it again on an all-night 48-hour stretch, banging for you all before I go into work another double between 2 jobs tomorrow. We're gonna be up literally upwards of 72 hours before it's all said and done with. But come Friday and Friday night's class, maybe even pushing longer. So this is what we do. We sacrifice for you. We dedicate our work to you. I don't do this shit for me. I've been out here in advance calling the highs and lows in the crypto market 6 years straight, and there's not another fucking like it. 151 IQ, and I dedicate my work to you, to help you prosper. Not out here shilling my shit. Not out here trying to get you to believe in my fucking cult, because I don't have one. I'm not on no guru mind trip. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here to use ChatGPT and present my work to you and all the nonsense that these other crypto analysts are doing to, well, stay high in the algorithm and get all these likes and followers and, have you pay their mortgage. We out here struggling and suffering and working 2 jobs, trying to run an online business while slowly growing this shit in the grassroots. Like, I'm the spitting image of one of you out here in the world, in America, trying to make it all over. Who knows where you lay your head down at. But I know if you get this mindset that we've dedicated to instilling in the Patoys and the Modern Swords and the Roy Moores and the Eddles and the Esmes, Lisa Clevelands and Pauls and all the pioneers that we've been teaching for 4 years. Well, since 2024 we started our website, but 2019 we started this work on Facebook, after the repo liquidity injections in September of 2019, started coming out and speaking on Facebook, highly about finance and, just economics, really. And then it got into, Bitcoin again, my 4th time in crypto. I've told my story, lost my everything 3 times prior to this since 2011, 2012, when I first got into cryptocurrency. Behind the walls of a, maximum security prison is where I learned about this technology, believe it or not. So, I've just taken this mindset and adapted it into something that has grown and flourished to be the number one banned crypto channel in the world. The number one misunderstood, overlooked, undervalued, and unappreciated work out there because everybody's falling for these nonsense gurus that continue to be wrong. What happened to the 2024 isolated XRP rally? Or the $15 we were supposed to see, Bearable Bull, last year? You and all your buddies, I mean, I'm just saying. Last year, when people thought that the rally was over and we were starting a blood moon eclipse into September and a second eclipse in a lunar cycle, right? And we were teaching you about Uranus retrograde, a historical find that would lead us to a new all-time high as we headed into October and Bitcoin's 17th birthday, right? Only to see Uranus retrograde hold true. Give us 126K that we mapped out in advance to Bitcoin's price discovery, right? Who can forget that? $126, all tied to the cosmos, a code that we were sharing in classes with our pioneers. Right here as we approach the Patriot Games 69K, like we weren't already prepared for this range, right? The Bitcoin dump from 126K tied to Satoshi Nakamoto, the cosmos, from October 6th to the Super Bowl, 126 days. From that point to Trump's birthday, 126 days, right? As we were watching the American Hunger Games take place, right? Tom Brady, the big arm Tom, his Patriots are in the Super Bowl, Bitcoin price discovery, mathematics of a circle. Like, come on now. From the day he created the Patriot Games to March 12th is 2 months and 23 days, which is 33 days after the Super Bowl. Why is that important? You tell me. March is the third month, they tell us. It's really the first month, but we'll behave. But that's the 1, 2, 3 go code, like we've been teaching you. So pay attention. In the 2026 year, he won this previous election with 312 to 226. 77 million votes, 49%. That's 7 times 7. 7 square root. That's why he had 77 million, right? So I'll behave. But very mathematical and breaking down. As Bitcoin is 17 years old, that's the 7th prime number, right? We're seeing a lot of this code that we were teaching you in advance play out to these exact time periods of watch the 2/6 day of the 2/6 year. And here we are on 2/5, potentially heading into, 66,000 into tomorrow. The 2/6 date, 66, the 2 6s in the 2/6 year, the 666 code tied to this upcoming eclipse. You can't make this up, pioneers. We've been out here banging with decodes, with technical analysis. I certainly hope that you're taking advantage of it and you find your way to the dailycandleclosenews.com where you check out the Patreon and you become one of our newest members that we just launched this year and have been dropping killer decodes. Watch out for that. New Year's decode. You better watch the videos. You better stay up to date. You better get ready to grind. Get ready to shine. Fourth quarter overtime. Never surrender, never retreat. Never back down by the blood in the streets, even if it's your own. So maybe we hold this area of 69K and don't push down into 66,600, 62,000, maybe that 60K range as we, saw the 1960 space race, as we come up on the 60th Super Bowl, as we get ready to watch Donald Trump and the 250th anniversary of America celebrate another birthday with the Illuminati, right? The Illuminati's birthday coming up too, don't forget about that. But Donald Trump giving us that same 60. He was elected the 60th president, right? He was just out here in the 60-minute interview on 11/2, the 112 date. So, 60 minutes interview and 11. in November, 11-2, 112, the mirror of 211, right? And we're coming up on that. 14 weeks and 3 days apart. That's 314, an anagram of pi, a full circle code. This is the 47th prime, right? Tied to the 47th president, 101 days apart, which is the 26th prime in the 2026 year. Drop the 0, it's 11, the reset code. So coming out of Super Bowl 60, do we see 60K? Or is 69 enough for the 60K range in the space race of 1969 tied to the crypto race that he told us about in this 60-minute interview? And the next day is a day that adds up to 60 in numerology. Again, the day leaving 322 days left in the year. 3 months and 10 days from that interview tied to that last day of normality before 2020's 311 shut down the C19. So again, that 310 code that we were talking about a moment ago, tied to the Bad Bunny who was born on 310, the last day of normality, tied to this COVID pandemic. He's going to be performing in the Super Bowl as we get ready to see the New England Patriots 217 play in the Super Bowl, coming up on that 217 eclipse right here. Manufactured reality we are living in, these terrorist attacks of 217, tied to, well, February 6th, tomorrow, the day we've been warning about, to September 11th, 2026 is 217 days. Bad Bunny 26 code tied to God 26, the year of God, the 2617 code we prepared you for this year, in advance last year. Nuclear fallout that we are seeing in the charts, 217. Psychological warfare that they are causing with the fear and greed index being at all-time lows for fucking 5 months straight. And everybody thinks that the end of the market is over. 126K is it. And maybe it was for Bitcoin. You know, we'll see. I mean, we've only fallen 43%, 44% now, potentially almost 47%. Into 66,600 before now getting a reversal probably. But anyways, we've never seen a market end in the history of the world with fear. It's always euphoria. It's always greed, which is why we were de-risking in December of 2024 and January 2025 on Trump's inauguration, when we were giving you the 109K highs tied to the Buckeyes. Right? Trump's inauguration on the same day the Buckeyes win the national championship in 2025, when the last time the market was greedy and we were at 109K and we were showing y'all, take your money and run. Where there is a will, there is a way. And the Buckeyes, the dollar signs in your fucking eyes that you would see on cartoons or in the emojis, right? Like, come the fuck on, man. Like, you can't make this shit up, right? So anyways, we bought a $500,000 home, you know, moved 4 states away, started accumulating over the last year every time there were lows, de-risking as there were highs. We called the 126K high in advance, right? You can't make this up. So for 6 years, when I say I'm the only one on YouTube, in Twitter, on the crypto fucking realm, the first inductee into the Crypto Hall of Fame, hey, I've called the highs and lows from 3K to 69K in 2021. From 69K for a year, preparing people for 15K as Bitcoin turned 15 years old. From then there to 32,200. From that range to 36,000. From 36 to 38,000 in a short squeeze of 11/7, 2023, the 117 Master Chief date. When the Dumb Money movie of the GME short squeeze released, we called the short squeeze up to 64,000 and then mapped the way to 74K and then back down to 47K and then all the way back to 103 and 108K, and we de-risked on 109 when we were seeing the Buckeyes win. Bought a fucking home. And then we called for these recent highs of 126K. The 74K we prepared you for last year. Don't forget about that, mind you. And now the fucking 69K lows. After already giving you 88,079 back in November. All in advance, you guys. Name a fucking nother to do it. That's what the fuck you do. I put my work against anybody in this fucking world That's why they kicked me out of their spaces, James Wynn, and Waters Above in the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Kick me out for what something somebody else said. Like we said, it wasn't even me. Like, been sharing my work helping his community for fucking 6 years, and he kicks me out because I've been correct. Because he holds an interview with me in 2024 and then blocks me after we get done with that interview that day for some fucking reason. And then steals my 47K and 47 code as we elect 47 that I told him about in that interview, and acts like he come up with the shit himself. Told him in that interview about a presidential batter change happening in 2024 as we elect 47. And then tries to say months later that he comes up with that after an interview with the Bearable Bull. Like, we calling these fuckers out from now on, bro. Like I done said a time or two before. Like, if there was a mandatory meeting that crypto YouTubers had to go to do this shit, I would slap the fuck out of a lot of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? For wrecking you guys, for stealing your fucking hard-earned wealth so you can pay their fucking mortgage while they fucking steer you in the wrong direction. But I'm out here sacrificing my everything for my family, for my son, working 18, 21 hours a day, 2 jobs, running this online successful business successfully at a flawless fucking rate on Injured. Drafted first round, overall first fucking pick in this motherfucking crypto space. Crypto's Andy Warhol. And I watch you guys get disrespected. The viewer of these other content artists. I'm not saying you view my shit. Not a lot of people do. You can tell by the views and the likes, right? But you see 100,000 subscribers to some of these people that, like, what are they giving you? Besides sitting on the edge of your seat hoping for the day that never fucking comes. And we out here mapping the day that comes every fucking time. But I'll shut the fuck up. What do I know? I'm new here. It's my first fucking day. I'll behave. 4:30 a.m. Got to get ready to go to work in a little bit. Need to make me some more coffee. Let us pray. So, something big is coming. 217, man. Like I said, man. You can't make this shit up. Alright, tying us back into our great American eclipse that started in 2017 that made that X over America. Going through that Seattle area damn near, right? Seattle in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. All of this is tied. Something big is coming. I prepared my pioneers for years now for the potential next 9/11 event to happen to the Seattle zone, or that Golden Gates. And we see that Golden Gates in the logo of the Super Bowl. Something big is coming. And it's showing us. Because again, if we go to Super Bowl of 2001, right after the 9/11 attacks, right? Pay attention to this code we are seeing here. Okay. Super Bowl. Dang it, man. This is my alarm for if I was, to fall asleep. I'm usually up at 3 a.m. So I set alarms in case I were to fall back asleep after that, to get ready to start going to work. So you might hear them go off a little bit. But alright, New England Patriots. It's the 2002 Super Bowl, I guess. Coming after the late 2001 season. Played in 2002, probably. But this was following the 9/11 attacks, right?
Have you ever seen people flipping houses and say, man, I wish I could make money like them. They've got dumpsters there. They've got contractors.
Mike Vrabel was a player, a linebacker. He's the coach of the New England Patriots now. He's going to be the first ever player to potentially play and win for his team, right? But advancing to this Super Bowl where the Patriots won 20-17, the 217 code as we approach this eclipse, right? 217, something big is coming. Well, we saw the 9/11 attacks prior to this Super Bowl on September 11th. And this year, in 2025, this past year, we saw Charlie Kirk shot 33 days before his birthday and on the eve of 9/11. You know, so on the 112th day of the year, Super Bowl gives us that 112 code. So we are seeing an exact repeat of 2001 and the 9/11 attacks. And we could be seeing a potential next 9/11 happen to the Seattle area or the Golden Gate Bridge. Pay attention to the Space Needle and the Golden Gate. Okay? Period. And I don't say this lightly. I've been preparing my pioneers for this for years. So, very unique what we are seeing right here. And again, New England Patriots giving us that 217 in numerology and gematria, the study of numbers. The emergency broadcast coloring, emergency broadcast code 119, 9/11, Charlie Kirk shot, 9/11, right? Potential event coming up is what we're seeing. The same color logo showing us an emergency broadcast to the Golden Gate Bridge or the Seattle Space Needle. That obelisk and that phallus, like the two space needles that now became the one. Very, very critical decode that we need to pay attention to. Okay? As we head into America's 250th birthday. The American Hunger Games 106 tied to the highs that came in on October 6 at 126K, right? The day leaving 86 days left in the year, and the market's 86 from 126K. I told you, Bitcoin dump, tied to the Nakamoto, the Cosmos, tied to Bitcoin price discovery. Like, we were mapping this out in classes. We were talking about this. Like, I've created a TikTok about one of those classes and everything. So, very unique. It's 26 degrees as we head into 2-6 tomorrow, in the 2-6 year. Dang, I ain't got my water running. I'll be right back.
You were the fire warming all my bones. Now I'm standing here alone with memories.
That slipped by me, and those that are in my group know that, like, we had 5 days and 4 nights without water after dealing with single-digit weather this past week throughout that winter storm of January 23rd, you know, that affected Tennessee and over 200 million Americans, right? And I left 4 sinks dripping, and I'm like, surely that's enough, you know what I'm saying? Like, it still froze, you know. It's a battle. My house is on stilts, you know, my water line runs up through one of my stilts, like it's, yeah, it was rough, you guys. And so, you know, I just wanted to make sure that I saw it slip by me. I've been up all night working on these notes and preparing my pioneers with these decodes and wanting to drop this video before we got ready to go to work, you know. But yeah, I'm probably about to get off here and just leave this there. It's amazing what we are seeing is Bitcoin, you know, retest this falling wedge, back test it as we head into Uranus stationing direct. Uranus has been in retrograde since the September 6th time period as we heading into that September 7th blood moon eclipse, where we then saw Charlie Kirk shot. The markets push up into highs right before his birthday, and then they peel over. We warned our pioneers about the October 9th Yale University's birthday, tied to Skull and Bones and the Brotherhood of Death, right? And for a potential, well, Skull and Bones ritual or celebration. And celebration would have meant we would have held 121 and 120, you know, 119 and continued. And, well, ritual, they knew what that meant, a cascade, a sell-off. The next day on 10/10, we saw Bitcoin lose $23,000, you know, starting our A, B, C into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave into that 79K, where we then pumped 17% and now have dumped from that point of the 97K. Yesterday, or in class Tuesday, it was 26%. Now we're down 28% from that 97K that we pumped up, you know, just a larger A, B, C now, okay? So also, you know, just completing more of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into that 69K retest, eating up previous liquidity. These fair value gaps were something I had been watching at this 786 zone right here at that 81K, and then this 79K for a while. And that's how we were able to see, you know, Trump was 79 years old, tied to the golden element, right? That chart. And, you know, turning that lead into gold, you know, alchemy right here, and potentially seeing this 69K 1.618 golden ratio range getting hit, right? All this fair value gap and smart money concept back here, you know, allowed me to understand that we could eat that and then potentially see some of this, which was post election of Donald Trump. So again, lows of 66,600 are what we're seeing if we can hold, you know, election lows before this rally. You know, so we're eating up all this fair value gap, and I think, you know, maybe that's enough ritual complete, you know, landing on the moon, and now we potentially reverse. The weekly RSI, like we've been sharing with our pioneers, is resetting for the first time, literally. We're at 29, and like I said, we don't fucking vacation down here, you guys. We've only fucking been down here 4 times in the history of fucking Bitcoin, going back to 2013. But I'll shut the fuck up. Like I said, I'm new here. Like, it's day one. You know, I'm not the fucking #1 analyst and charter in the fucking history of crypto in the last 6 years, and my work shows that. I'm not bragging, not boasting. It's just like, name a fucking other to do it. You know what I'm saying? But like, we don't vacation and hang out down here. We get down here and we go back up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, the weekly resetting for the first time since 2022. And the bear market lows. Okay? So you really can't make this up. Alright? So by the time, you know, we see this recover, most people will probably just start chasing green candles again. So, and then there is that 4.236 now, you guys, at 43K. Alright? So if we were to see something big, like this decode is showing, then there's no telling what we could see for Bitcoin. After a 43-day government shutdown, the longest in the history of the world, you know, a number highly tied to, well, you know, that Super Baal game. But the Lightbringer, we need to pay attention to that, you know. If we were to see a 9/11 type of style event to the Space Needle, or, you know, the Golden Gate Bridge, or just, you know, something similar, potentially to this man too, well, let's see what happens. Okay? But there is now a 4.236 there. If you were to, pull up that chart that we were just looking at, that I think I just exited out of. Yeah, how about that? But anyways, man, did we finish that 47% down from the highs under President number 47, which we are 4.7% away from there now. And today is 47 days from the winter solstice. Like, you can't make this up, you guys. Like, do we finish this ritual that we've been calling in advance here? So, pretty remarkable. You can't make this up, you know. Charting history, day after day after day. Been non-stop all week, dropping the codes from our pioneers. So I hope you follow us at the dailycandleclosenews.com, or join us at the, like I said, the new Patreon. But I'm gonna sign out, you guys. Y'all take care. I'm gonna get ready to go to work, take care of my son, make him some breakfast, and you know, walk the dogs, hang out under the moon. So much love and high vibrations. Pioneers rise. Build your fortress. Build your legacies. Let's go.